Elise Stefanik is the House Republican Conference Chair. She represents the great state of New York in Congress, and she joins us now. Welcome to you, Congresswoman. Let me start just by asking you, how did we get here? 1.4% inflation to now a 40-year high. How did we get here?
Well, first of all, this Congress, under unified far-left Democrat government, you have Democrats controlling the Senate, the House, and the White House. They have spent more taxpayer dollars than any other Congress in our nation's history. We're talking trillions and trillions of dollars. And economists of both parties, both Republican and Democrat economists like Larry Summers, warned that this endless amount of spending would lead to rampant historic inflation. And of course, that's what we're seeing. And while Joe Biden is attempting to pass the buck, the American people are very smart. They understand that where they were before he took office, you said was 1.4% inflation. Now that we're at the highest rate of inflation since my lifetime, since 1981. I was born in 1984. And they understand that this is directly a result of the failed tax and spend policies. This is the #1 issue, no matter where I go in my district, in upstate New York, in the North Country, or no matter who I talk to across this country. It's the #1 driving issue because people are struggling to pay their bills on a weekly and monthly basis.
All right, Elise, you're in the minority now, and I know you do not like to look forward, and you don't want me to talk about retaking the House, but I'm going to ask you a hypothetical. If the GOP retakes the House, you may or may not have the Senate, but you're definitely not going to have the White House. So realistically, can you do anything to make things better if you take the House, and if so, what?
Absolutely. This is going to be one of our #1 priorities. So #1, Trey, have a hearing on inflation. Hear firsthand from families like I hear on a regular basis in my district. The fact is, Congress under Nancy Pelosi, they haven't held a single hearing on inflation. That's the #1 crisis facing every American, no matter where you live in this country. So hear that firsthand. And #2, we can hold this administration accountable. We also have the power of the purse. That means reining in this reckless spending. That means passing a balanced budget. And it also means making sure that we have fiscal and monetary policy that's focused on, again, ramping down this historic inflation. But Congress, we're the appropriators here. And of course, in divided government, you have to, negotiate. But Republicans are going to stand firm to stop the endless spending that has led to a tax on every American.
All right, Elise, you were a policy person before you got into politics, and you were a policy person when I served with you, and I'm not. So let me ask you a policy question. All right, spending money is always easier than cutting. It certainly was when I was there. It's hard to cut. So spending was up even when Republicans were controlling the House. So is it just government spending? What are the other variables explaining the exponential increase in inflation, because almost every administration spends a lot of money?
Well, first of all, you are right. There are other aspects of this. There's been a war on American energy production and energy manufacturing, from the redlining of the Keystone XL pipeline to the not permitting any new oil and gas permits or leases. That's had a tremendous impact because the price of gas is also going up significantly, and historically it's nearly doubled since Joe Biden took office. Also, if you look at the extension of unemployment benefits that Democrats continue to extend, where there was an incentive for people to stay out of work rather than getting back to work as the economy reopened after COVID. That also had a huge exacerbating effect on the labor shortage. So when you talk to small businesses, when you talk to manufacturers, Trey, no matter who you talk to, they're all looking to hire people. They have a for hire sign on main streets across America. So it's all these issues combined that are leading to this inflation crisis. But all these issues are a direct result of Democrats' failed policies. We did not see this rampant inflation at all under the previous administration. And of course, we did pass robust COVID, but very targeted COVID packages rather than the spigot, which was wide open. And look at the waste, fraud, and abuse. When we talk about the targeted small business relief that Republicans focused on when it came to COVID relief, we're now finding that under the Democrat leadership, the COVID bill, where less than 10% went to COVID relief, that there's hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars of waste, fraud, and abuse. So there's a lot of policy issues here that we need to hold the administration accountable for, but also that Republicans need to put forth, and we're going to, not only reining in our spending, but also making sure that we're encouraging and incentivizing American energy independence, that we're making sure that the incentive is to get folks back to work rather than staying out of the workforce.
Elise Stefanik from the great state of New York, thank you for joining us on a Sunday night. It's great to see you. I look forward to seeing you again soon.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.